You are now listening to an exclusive interview on Sounds of Success with Noah Swiderski.
Welcome to the Sounds of Success podcast. Today we have an incredible guest joining us, Colleen White. With a rich background in corporate management and nearly a decade as a professional psychic, Colleen has dedicated her life to helping others align their purpose and create lives they love. From transformative workshops to luxury retreats, she empowers individuals to step into their fullest potential. Let's dive deep. Welcome, Colleen. Thank you so much.
Hi, how are you? Thanks for having me.
Fantastic. I love your story, and I'm so happy to have you on. Can you share maybe with the audience a little bit about your journey from corporate management to becoming a professional psychic, and kind of what inspired that transition?
Sure. So in my 20s, I'm so sorry, my dog came in. I probably should have put her outside. In my 20s, I worked in Boston for Old Town Trolley, and I ran their stores. So it was tourism-based retail. It was great. They're like an amazing company. So that was fun. I basically mastered the art of selling shot glasses and trolley tickets and trained my staff. I ran 2 stores by the time I left there. And I ended up moving to Salem. My ex opened his own tour business, and I helped open a souvenir gift shop in Salem with him. And that's kind of what led me to Salem. It kind of led me to doing the work that I did in Salem for 10 years as a psychic medium. I kind of branched out, leaving retail, kind of moving off on my own, kind of starting a new path, new life. And I had an amazing time. It was great time living and working in Salem, getting to know that community. I hosted lots of events. I helped run a psychic fair. I basically did my psychic mediumship work and readings like every day on Essex Street. It was lovely. I worked at 2 different places. I worked at the Broom Closet, and then I worked at a psychic parlor and emporium in Salem. And I went on to host retreats. So I moved on to hosting events and retreats on my own as well. Got married, moved to New Hampshire, had kids, and now I live in the woods in New Hampshire, and I studied herbalism, aromatherapy, continue to host transformative events, retreats, do coaching. I kind of got into virtual readings before COVID made virtual work a thing. So all of my clients that were back in Massachusetts were able to do Zooms with me and do phone readings. And then they would host psychic parties and events. So I go all over New England to do house parties, bachelorettes, bridal showers, corporate events, fundraisers. I did the Manchester Police ball last year. I was the psychic.
That's amazing. It was a huge stepping stone for you and kind of getting to where you're at now. What are some common challenges some of your clients face when they seek guidance? And how do you help them overcome these obstacles?
Well, I also read at the Bohemian here in Bedford for a little while before they moved out of Bedford, and I work out of my home. I have an office in my on my property. So people will come to me one-on-one when they're in distress a lot of the time. A lot of time people will be going through bad transformative situations, but transitions where they're going through a divorce, they're going through the loss of someone, they're going through losing a job, having to restart their lives. So people will come to me for that, which is why I actually got life coach certified, 12 years after I started reading, because I have the same people I've been reading for decades, and they come to me when they're in crisis, and then they keep coming back, and I'll help them heal and transform their life and make it better and move forward and make changes. So it's not just, a lot of times people will come to me like, "Ooh, I want to know for fun what comes next. Am I going to find love? Am I going to get a new job? Am I going to be rich?" But for the most part, the highest percentage of people, they come to me when they're going through a really rough time. And then they come back to me to make sure things are going to be okay and they're on the right path.
And something I've always personally wanted to know is, how do you approach intuitive readings differently for clients who may be skeptical about psychic ability?
Well, Salem was a great training ground for that. In October, you get all the tourists that are just coming for a hokey tarot reading, and a lot of them don't believe in it. A lot of them wander in. I used to work from 10 to 10, like 5 days a week in October, and they would stumble in at like 9 o'clock at night drunk. Like, I don't believe in this. And so I really kind of get a kick out of proving everybody wrong, that this is the real deal. Like, oh, I know you're a contractor who just went through a divorce. And like, as I throw the cards down, I pretty much tear apart people's skepticism. So it is funny. I mean, people who really don't want it in their life, I don't want to like intrude on them. But when people are like, oh, prove it works to me, I can do that.
That's hilarious. Can you tell us about one of the most memorable experiences you've had while helping someone through your readings?
Oh, so I used to do seances in Salem in October, and then I did them all year long. And I mean, I think that when I was trained by my friend Leanne, who owns 2 shops in Salem and wrote 3 books on how to do a seance and how to hold the room and hold the space and deliver messages, I kind of thought, well, I do mediumship readings, but this is going to be silly. It's going to be a show. It's going to be hokey. But just the ability to be in a room with candles, making connections, having everyone make connections with each other, and then sharing messages from some people who've lost children, people who've lost spouses, and being able to bring hope and light and love into their life. A lot of people lose faith when they go through loss. And to be in the middle of Salem in a psychic parlor, convincing people like that they can believe again, that there's something on the other side, that there's something bigger than us, that there's like a place people go when they pass on, and like showing them that light, it really transforms people. I have people who've been coming back to me for mediumship readings that have suffered loss of having a family member murdered, or like just horrible like issues they went through with loss, and they found such light in being able to communicate with those loved ones that they've been coming back to me for over a decade.
That's absolutely life-changing. What is the significance of wellness and manifestation in your work? And how do you incorporate these elements into your retreats?
Oh, well, I teach guided meditation. Sometimes I work out of the Yoga Fitness Loft in Amherst, but I also do it on my retreats. I find when people are able to ground, center, and meditate and do breath work, they're able to visualize, and I do guided visualization meditations where people are able to manifest things that they want. Sometimes it's wellness, peace, calm, the ability to open their hearts to love. I do a different type of guided meditation for everything. And I do a garden party every year where the ladies do vision boards and flower arranging. And on my retreats, I do a lot of the vision boards, and I have a manifestation coaching class that I do where everybody gets this manifestation planner for the year, and it really makes you deep dive into like, what are your goals? What are like the 100 things you're going to achieve this year? And people are like, no one achieves 100 things, but I've been doing it for 5 years, and every year I look at the list, I'm like, I did like 75 of those. Like, I did so many of those.
I forget what the stat is. I'm a big believer in manifestation, and it's something I'm trying to get even more into. But I think it's like 85% of people who write stuff down actually accomplish it, whether you even think you can or not. It's just putting it out there. Yeah. In what ways do you believe personal growth can impact someone's professional life?
Oh, I feel like if people aren't happy, calm, confident, satisfied, feeling grateful, gratitude is a huge thing, then they're not able to go out there in the workforce and do their job with passion or love. So many people do their job and they hate it, and they do it their whole lives, and they can't find any joy in it. But if you have some personal joy, you're bringing that in every day. You might be looking for a new connection, or making connections with coworkers, or bringing the product that might be something completely boring, looking at it in a different way and making connections as you make sales with your customers. So there's so many ways in which you can bring joy into your day.
And kind of touching on that, what advice would you give to someone who's feeling stuck in a relationship, in their personal life, in their career? What would you tell them?
I think change is scary, but I think that change is sometimes so helpful and useful. And I think people staying stuck is a huge problem. And I think, obviously, I think if you're in a relationship, it has some issues, you've got to go get some work done on it. Like if your car was having issues and you thought it might go on fire, you're going to have it looked at. So if your relationship's going through that, you might want to see a professional, and make sure you get some counseling, go on a couples retreat, like make some time for each other, like make sure it's not a hump that you can get over. A lot of times it is. With work, sometimes it's, like you might be a surgeon and you might have a very stressful job and you might not feel appreciated by your hospital. So maybe think about, like, in the future, where would I want to work? Maybe ask some questions, look around. Like, you don't have to be stuck in the same place, even if you're stuck in a career.
And you mentioned some stories earlier. Can you share any success stories from clients who have transformed their lives through some of your guidance?
Oh, I have one client that I've had for years, and she started out with me when she was young, and she went through, she really kind of was abandoned by her parents, and her mother was like the type of mother who just walks away. So she, always dated but couldn't commit, and she fell in love finally with someone. And I don't usually take clients who need weekly readings anymore. I feel like those people need like mental health help, but I'll read her once or twice a month. She now owns 2 properties. Her husband has his own business. They have 2 beautiful children, but for years, she's called me and been like, is this really going to work? Is he going to leave me? Is everything going to fall apart? Because when you grow up in trauma, you have a trauma response, a fear response. You're always trying to self-sabotage. So like, should I rent my house? Should I trust these people? What am I going to do? They didn't pay their rent. Like this, you might not think you're calling a psychic, but like, this is maybe what someone else would have called their mom for. So I can help because I am older than her, so I can help give her advice, but I can also say, I can clearly see that, there's nothing going on with your husband. He's really just going to work. Or like, I can clearly say, you shouldn't buy that car. Like, you should go look at another one.
And are there some future projects or maybe retreats that you're thinking about that you're most excited about? And how can listeners get involved? How can they get involved?
I'm so excited about April. My website, ColleenWhiteHolistic.com, always lists them. I always have upcoming retreats and events, but I did a money mastermind for female entrepreneurs at Cape Cod, at the Cape Cod Villa last April. And they contacted me and they asked me to come back and do a monthly series. I can't throw a retreat on the Cape every month. Everybody knows how hard it is to get to the Cape. And from Bedford, New Hampshire with little kids, I couldn't commit to that, but I committed to an April and a fall date. And I think I launched it last week online, and I already have 2 signups. So that's huge because like within a week, having 2 signups is great for a retreat. It's going to be a transformational women's retreat with yoga, sound bath, massage, female empowerment circles. It's going to have so many activities. It's going to have a trip to the beach with transportation in Chatham and some shopping in Chatham. It's going to just be a great weekend. I'm really looking forward to it. And I'm looking forward to finding new facilitators to shift that and do something like that in the fall at the Cape Cod Villa, which is just an amazing place that's transformative, that maybe is walking through loss or doing some grief work.
Absolutely. And where can they find you? Are you on social?
Oh yeah, I'm on TikTok. I am on Instagram. It's Colleen White Retreats and Events on Facebook is my business page. So if you look up Colleen White, you can usually find me. My married name's Augustin, so it's Colleen White Augustin. But usually I'm under Colleen White because my LLC is Colleen White Retreats and Events.
Thank you for joining us today on Sounds of Success podcast. A huge thank you to Colleen White for sharing her insights and wisdom. If you're looking to realign, recharge, or explore your true potential, be sure to check out her services and upcoming retreats. Don't forget to subscribe for more inspiring stories and tips on achieving success. Until next time, keep chasing your dreams. Thanks, Colleen.